We are going to do a case study. Maybe if I can find it correctly. All right, hang on a second. All right, can everybody see the slide?
Yes.
All right. So today we are going to look at Mrs. Bell Pepper. Um, I would like to say that no individuals or families were harmed in the making of this PowerPoint presentation. Okay. We talk about our mission, vision, and values, stronger families for stronger Georgia, so I won't spend a whole lot of time with that. Now, here's what I'm hoping we're going to do today. We're going to go through Mrs. Pepper's Don R in detail. Okay? And we're going to be looking for several things. We're going to be looking at each of the domains. We're going to be looking at are the essential components done. We're going to be looking at was the uh, level of impairment and the unmet need for care scored correctly? Are there comments? Is the assessment consistent among the different domains? And we're going to talk about what would be an appropriate service plan based on our assessment. Okay? When we get to the comments, we're going to be looking for four things that we talked about. The first is what is it they can't do? And those are, again, back to why can't they do each one? Who is or who is not helping? And how often the help is available when needed. Okay. So any questions about what we're hoping to do with the rest of this? Okay. All righty, here we go. Our first domain is eating. And remember, the essential components are cutting food into manageable pieces, getting food to your mouth, chewing, swallowing, and getting a hot or cold beverage to the mouth and swallowing. Okay. So here is Mrs. Pepper's Don R for eating. The level of impairment is 1. She can perform most of the essential components. The unmet need is a 1. The need is met most of the time. And the comments say client states she needs new dentures. Okay, so unmute yourself and tell me about the level of impairment.
Are we telling you the level of impairment based on what you have here
Well,
in the comments?
well, okay, let's do this differently. Let's start at the beginning. Um, are the essential components um, um, noted?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
So this is not correct. Actually, the comments are not explaining anything. There is no reason why she has a new dentures. Can she chew? Can she, are they maybe giving her pain or something like that? So
Correct. So there's nothing in the comments that tells me, based on the essential components, whether there's a level of impairment or not. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So does this section of the Donar help you very much?
no.
No. Excellent. Okay. So again, what I would be looking for is she says she needs new dentures. Does that have any impairment with her chewing? And can she do the rest of the essential components? Okay. So let's go to bathing. Remember, the essential components are getting in and out of the tub or to the sink, turning faucets, regulating water temperature, washing entire body, including hair, drying entire body. Okay. So here is Mrs. Pepper's score for bathing. Level of impairment is 3, cannot perform any of the components. An unmet need is 3, need is seldom or client cannot stand for long periods or get to the shower. Bath near her room is not working, and she states her daughter keeps the other bathroom locked and has a key. She has a lot of back and joint pain and cannot move around in small spaces. Okay, so let's start with our essential components.
We don't know if she cannot even get to the bathroom because her daughter locked it, and or if she doesn't like to shower or bathe. We don't know if she can actually get into it because of her physical challenges. We know that it gives her probably some type of difficulties, and we don't know if daughter can help her. It says need is seldom or never met because of her daughter not giving her the keys. So it's kind of not clear.
All right.
Can she wash her hair? Can she dry entire body? Can she sponge bathe? Does she like to sponge bathe?
Yep. So let's follow that path. The essential component is getting in and out of the tub or to the sink. Can she do that?
Well, she can't stand for long periods of time. So she can't get in the shower. The bathroom doesn't work where which is near her room. So she can't get to a sink even if she wanted to, and the daughter has the other one locked. So I would say no, that's not met.
All right. So I'm not scoring access. All right, that's a different intervention. So it says she cannot stand for long periods or get to the shower. Okay. And she can't move around in small spaces. It doesn't tell me whether she can get in and out of the shower. Okay. So I'm having to make an inference here from stuff. So the missing piece here is, can she actually get in or out of a tub? All right. Does it tell me anything about turning faucets?
No.
No. Does it tell me anything about regulating water temperature?
No.
All right. What about washing her body, including her hair?
No.
Nope. How about drying her entire body?
No.
All right. So what I do know is that she has trouble standing for long periods. She can't move around a lot, and the bath near her room is not working. Okay. So that is a different set of interventions than I can't turn the faucets and navigate the water temperature and get it out of the tub. Okay. So is this one particularly helpful to us?
No.
Nope. Okay. Let's go to grooming. Essential components are fixing hair, shaving, fingernail and toenail care, brushing teeth, and cleaning dentures. Okay. So my level of impairment is 2, cannot perform most essential components. My unmet need is 2, need is not met most of the time. So my comments are, can comb her hair, has worn dentures and needs new ones, cannot wash her hair due to back and joint pain. All right. So let's start with our essential components. Fix hair. Can she do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Can she shave?
No, doesn't say.
Doesn't say. Can she take care of her nails?
No, we don't know.
All right. Can she brush her teeth or dentures?
Don't know.
We don't know. All right. What do we do with this cannot wash her hair due to back and joint pain?
They should be with the bathing. It's
Okay.
wrong. Oh.
If I go back up here, wash entire body, including hair, would be scored here. So we know there's an impairment here somewhere that's not in the comments. So that one's kind of out of place. Okay, so how helpful is this one? This one's not very helpful either.
Yes, not helpful.
Let's go to dressing. Get arms and legs into clothing, getting arms and legs out of clothing, buttons, zippers, laces. Clothing is appropriate to the social situation or the weather. Okay. My level of impairment is 2, cannot perform most essential components. Unmet need is not met most of the time. Client wears gowns most of the time, wears as long as she can because she suffers great back and joint pain, limited mobility, has joint pain in her wrist. Okay. Can she get her arms and legs into or out of clothing?
They don't know.
Don't know. Can she do buttons, zippers, and laces?
We don't know.
Don't know. Can she pick out clothing appropriate to the social situation or the weather?
We can guess she has some problems because she has a joint pain in her wrist,
Okay.
probably. But we don't want to guess.
Okay. Yeah. So we talked about when we were going through the Don R that this thing about wearing gowns most of the time needs to be clarified about whether that's her preference or whether she does that because of the difficulty in getting into and out of clothing. Okay. All right, let's go on to transferring. Getting in and out of the normal sleeping place, getting legs over the bed, standing up, and getting out of the lounger if that is the normal sleeping place. Level of impairment is a 1. She can perform most essential components. Unmet need is a 1. Comment, sleeps on a bunch of pillows, which is uncomfortable due to back pain.
Does
Okay.
she even sleep in the bed? It just sleeps on the bunch of pillows?
Yeah, I don't know where the bunch of pillows is, if it's on the floor, the couch, or wherever. Okay. All right. So let's do the continence one, and then we'll go back and review what we know. So for incontinence, it's recognizing the need to go, getting to the bathroom on time, getting clothing off to the level needed, cleaning up, and get clothes back on or up. Okay. Level of impairment can perform most essential components. Unmet need is met most of the time. Comments is slow to get to the bathroom, wears pads, has problem reaching her bottom. Okay. Can she recognize the need to go?
If she wears pads, I would say she might have an accident because she may either not be aware or making it on time. It can be either.
All right, so we don't know why she's wearing the pads. Getting to the bathroom on time.
I guess not. She's wearing pads.
It says she's slow, so we know that's at least a 1, theoretically. Can she clean herself up?
She has a problem.
Okay, we don't know what the problem is or why, but she has a problem. And can she get her clothing back on her up?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay. So, I want to go back over what we've learned about Mrs. Pepper so far. What do we know?
Unfortunately, we don't know much about Miss Peppers.
Okay, correct. We know she needs new dentures. Okay. We know she can't stand for long periods. She has back and joint pain and can't move around in small spaces. She can comb her hair. Again, we've got joint and back pain, um, back and joint pain, limited mobility, pain in her wrists, back pain, um, a bit slow, has problem reaching. Okay, so we figured out some things. So how would you all rate the quality of this section of Mrs. Pepper's Donar?
I believe it was done poorly.
Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, we need. There's some comments. We need more details in the Donar. We know her mobility is limited and she's slow. It's not detailed enough. And then another comment is weak. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So, what kinds of things would you want to know that you don't?
I mean, I would want to know exactly what she can't do, like in each domain, instead of just listing her impairment.
Okay.
I want to know if she has someone who can help her. That would be the major thing for me. Or she lives alone. It doesn't say if she lives with her daughter or she has a caregiver or someone who can assist her if she needs to.
Okay.
Yeah, I would even want to know how often these things are going undone. I mean, she has a lot of unmet need scores on there, but it doesn't say how often it's going undone, when it's going undone, none of that.
Y'all are making me tear up. I'm getting all excited. If she has a diagnosis of something and what the effects from it are. Yeah. So we don't really. Um, we're having a hard time really getting a picture of what's going on with Miss Pepper from here. Okay. Anything else about these ADLs that anybody wants to throw out there? Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go to our IADLs. Okay. So the first is managing money. Can you recognize the difference between paper money and coins, understand what a bill is, write a check, and count money? Okay. There's no impairment, no need, no unmet need. She banks over the phone. What do you think of that?
It's somewhat incomplete because we don't know if she can count money or because if you bank over the phone, that doesn't really tell you if you can actually count paper money or coin money or anything like that.
Okay. Yep.
So, Tom, I have a comment.
Yeah.
So, this was told to us a while back, and those people probably aren't there anymore, but we were told if a person can do everything in the domains, that we don't have to list it out that they can do it. Or if a person can't do everything in the domains, we don't have to list it out that they can't. We can just summarize it for the sake of documentation. Is that no longer true?
No. So if they can do all of it, and let's say my impairment and unmet need are both 0, and you can say can do all essential components or something like that. You don't have to list each one separately.
But if they can't do it, you want us to list out each component and say they can't do it and why.
I want you to tell me. Yeah. Well, I want you to tell me which ones they can't do and why. Okay. So what I want to be able to say is that you've accounted for all of the essential components. So you can say can do all except this because of why. Okay. There's a comment about can you leave the comment blank if they can do everything? No. because I don't know if I'm reviewing this whether it's there's no comment or you just didn't put one in. Okay, so can do all is sufficient. Can't do any because of X is sufficient. The only time you really need to separate them out if they are yeah, it is if you have to do some differentiating among the different essential components. So she may not be able to do one because of one thing and may not be able to do a separate essential component because of something else. Okay. Remember, I'm looking at which essential components can they not do and why can't they do it. Okay. Yeah, client has difficult with all components of money except. So you can phrase it however you want to. Don't overwrite. Keep it simple, but account for all of your essential components. There's a comment here. She appears to be able to take care of this domain. I would think if she's able to bank by phone or online, she's cognitively stable. I would think that. I don't know that I would want to make an assumption because all it says is she banks over the phone. It doesn't tell me that she does it correctly. Okay, so that would be a good guess. I don't like guessing. Okay. Any other questions about that one? Let's go back up. So there's no impairment, no unmet need, and there's just some additional information here. Okay. Telephoning, can they pick up the phone, dial, talk, be understood and understand, and hang up the phone? Okay. No impairment, no unmet need, client reported poor hearing at times.
How she can bank over the phone if she has not good hearing, and then it would be an impairment, wouldn't it? Because poor hearing consider that she may not hear well over the phone.
Yeah, what do some of the others of you think about that? Okay, there's a suggestion here, probably needs to be a 1. Okay, I don't know. When we talked about being specific, I don't know what poor hearing at times means. Okay, so a bit more information is needed, and I don't know the impact of that. So that's probably not scored. I mean, based on this, I would say it's probably not scored correctly. Which again it reinforces the importance of providing the details. Okay. There's a question: can she pick up the phone and dial? So this goes back to my comments. I could say she can do all but reports poor hearing, and then theoretically I would do a 1. Again, I want to explain what that at times means. I can't quite make heads or tails out of that. Okay. Preparing meals. Can she open packages and cans, pour food into a bowl or pot, turn knobs, use other kitchen appliances, and wash and put away dishes? Okay, so level of impairment is a 2, unmet need is a 2. Client cannot stand for a long period due to back pain. She cannot lift pots and pans due to joint pain in her hands. She's afraid she will burn something. Client states she has no way to shop for food. Does not bring food home for her. Okay. So let's go through our essential components. Can she open up packages or a can?
We don't know.
We don't know. Can she pour food into a bowl or pot?
We don't know.
We don't know. Can she turn the knobs on the stove on and off?
Probably, but she's afraid she's gonna burn something.
Okay. Why is she afraid?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay. Can she use other kitchen appliances?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Well, I mean, she can. I don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
Okay. Can she wash and put away dishes?
We don't
Yeah,
know.
We don't know. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Um, Laundry. Carrying laundry to the machine, sorting, getting clothes in and out of washer and dryer, folding and putting away. All right. So, level of impairment, she can perform most essential components and the need is met most of the time. Can manage very simple loads due to difficulty bending and back and joint pain. I hear a sigh.
I mean, it's the same situation. Like, she's not, whoever this is, isn't asking the components.
Okay. All right.
So we don't know if she can do the other things or not. So, I mean, the one is justified somewhat as far as getting clothes in and out of the washer or dryer, but none of the other components are addressed.
All right. What does can manage very simple loads mean?
We don't know. It's subjective.
Okay.
It might mean that she's able to do laundry.
Okay.
But,
so that would
you
be
know,
my interpretation. If I can manage to do something, I can do it.
so it would be 0, I guess. Or struggle 1. Maybe she struggles with that, so you can put 1.
Yeah. And
But
remember, our level of impairment is does it take them longer? Do they have to make more attempts? And those sorts of things. And so, I could infer that it may take her a little longer, but I don't know that for sure either.
then it's always good to ask if they would tell you something like that. So why it takes you longer, because you're anxious or you are not feeling, you're frail. It's always good to ask, because maybe, as we said that um, previously, that training for uh, risk for falls, maybe the client has some medication side effects and it feels dizzy, and it's more careful because doesn't want to fall. So we can go in even further and find out. Like you said, we don't have to really ask all these questions, and we're just gonna find out maybe more by just, digging a little bit deeper.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's go into housework. Can they sweep, dust, clean up spills on the counter or the floor, clean sinks and toilets, cleaning bathtub, and vacuuming? Just for fun, does anybody want to guess what the level of impairment would be for her?
A 2.
2? Any other guesses?
0.
0? All right.
Ah!
Yeah.
All right. So level of impairment, cannot perform most essential components. Unmet need is seldom or never met. Great joint pain, cannot bend, lift, or transfer. All right. Suffers depression and anxiety, at risk of falls. What do you make of that?
I mean, again, I can't tell what she can or can't do.
Okay.
This is the first time that there is mention risk for falls, unsteady, because when you transfer or go to bathroom or you bathe, you all that you should already, like, feeling unsteady, when you actually walking or so. Also asking if you using cane or if the wheelchair or walker. That's kind of important.
Yep. So if I see this unsteady thing, what other domains would I want to go back and look at a little more closely?
Transfer,
Transferring,
continence.
continence,
I mean, maybe meal preparation.
maybe, perhaps dressing.
Yeah, dressing.
Okay. Bathing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Have we seen anything about depression and anxiety before?
No, not prior to this.
Okay. All right. Here's an interesting comment. Actually, a couple. So depression or anxiety might be causing her not to care about the cleanliness of her home. Okay. What else might it not, or might it impact?
And be motivated to do anything, to stand up, to even get out from the bed to do anything. Because if she feels down, she may not be motivated to do much.
All right. What does she wear all day?
The gown,
All right. Could depression and anxiety have an impact on that?
yes.
All right. So now we've all of a sudden we've identified this thing that we didn't know about before. All right. So this is an interesting question, and I'd love to get some comment about. Thanks, Kristen, for that one. Gloria asked, if you can manage simple loads to wash, why can't you bend or lift now? All right, so let's go back up here. I can manage very simple loads due to difficulty bending. So apparently, I can do it. Okay. But now for housework, I can't bend, lift, or transfer. Any comments about that?
I mean, it's lacking consistency with the other domains.
Okay. Virtual pause for Gloria. Thank you, Gloria.
I want to just add that most of the clients I am sometimes screening, they are telling me, like, I'm not saying I make the same notes or comments, but they're telling me that they cannot do any housework. They cannot do any of maybe laundry and maybe the meal prep, and then they otherwise they can do everything, and they just say they have a hard time. Sometimes it seems to be that they don't want to do it. They make that the choice not to do that.
Yeah, so there's a, there's a, we talked about this, there's a difference in doing it face to face, which is the preferred method, and doing it over the phone. It's just a challenge doing it over the phone. And so, if you're in person, you can actually look at the house and see what kind of shape it's in, and, help tailor your questions and score some of it based on that. you know, if you're doing it just telephonically, then you got to get creative and ask questions like, well, when was the last time you did your laundry? And or something like that. So again, looking at art of case management, because I really can't be sitting there and go, oh my God, this place is a dump, and you're saying that you don't have any problems. I can't quite do that. Okay, so I've got to practice some um, some skill here. But, I can, with all of these, I can do observations and, well, it seems like you really have difficulty moving around. Tell me how you do, whatever. So I can, again, use my power of observations when I'm doing these face to face. Okay. So I don't know much about this housework thing at all. Outside home, can I negotiate the porch, stairs, and walkways, able to get to, navigate essential places, drive, or get in and out of a car, or use public transit? Okay. So my level of impairment is a 1, and unmet need is met most of the time. Home has steep steps with no railings. They are a fall risk. She seldom leaves the home due to the risk of falling. Client states she wants to live on her own, as she states she feels like her does not want her there and ignores her. Okay, tell me about the essential components.
We don't know what if she use some like walker, if she can even get out from the house. It doesn't say much what she can do or what she cannot do.
Okay. All right. So this unsteadiness seems to be a problem. We don't know what's causing it, and we don't know the extent of it necessarily. Okay. We've also, there apparently appears to be some problems between the client and her daughter. All right. Yeah. Right. Outside home. Routine health. These are the everyday tasks that don't need close monitoring and supervision and the ability to follow directions. Okay. Level of impairment is a 2, cannot perform essential components, and the unmet need is not met most of the time. Comment says forgetful and does not take meds on time. Client sets meds up in a planner, has problems purchasing meds, transportation issues, is a diabetic and takes insulin twice a day on a sliding scale. Comments on that one?
So there's definitely an impairment there. She
Okay.
can't follow the directions as far as taking her medication. She's not able to even set up her medications, even with using a planner. I guess you can't really, you said we can't score access, so how she gets her meds doesn't really matter.
Right.
And she's a diabetic, and so there's a significant risk to safety if she's not taking her medication correctly. So yeah, I would see a 2.
All right. Tell me what forgetful means.
Yeah, I would want to know what that means. Like, is it because of dementia or is it memory loss, confusion?
Okay. Because that has an impact on several of the other domains if that's actually there.
Right, it does.
Now, if I'm just forgetting to take my meds on time, that assumes, I mean, again, I'm just looking at this. If I have to take my meds in the morning and an evening, but there's no specific time, thing, then I'm not sure what doesn't take meds on time means. So if she sets them up in a planner and then forgets to take them, I'm just not sure. I don't know what that means. So it would, yes, I would. It appears there is an impairment, but I don't know what it is. And without knowing that, I can't figure out what the unmet need is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Isn't this fun?
It is.
Particularly when it's not one of mine. Okay. Special health. These are things usually performed by a licensed health professional. Okay. So level of impairment is a 1. Can perform most essential components. The unmet need is met most of the time. The comments say depressed and doesn't get out much.
I think that's wrong because if someone would come to her house, healthcare professional, and tell her to step on the weight or do like some exercise, if she's not able to follow the direction, that's very serious. So I don't know. We would have to know more. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. If she said that she can follow. Depressed and doesn't get out much. It doesn't have to do so much with that special help, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't address if she can follow instructions at all. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. Being alone. I'm looking forward to this one. So, essential components are recognize an emergency, responding to an emergency, able to get out of the home, and recognizing and respond to needs to personal help. Anybody want to guess about this one? I see twos. All right, let's see. It is a 2. So level of impairment is 2, unmet need is 2, client's daughter works and granddaughter goes to school, discs are pressing on her nerves in the back, limited use of her hands, arthritis in her wrist, has difficulty exiting but may call 911 if her mental status is clear. Okay, essential components. Recognize an emergency.
It's not addressed.
All right. Respond to an emergency.
I mean, it says she may call 911
Okay. What else does it say?
if her mental status is clear.
All right. What does that tell us?
That she's got something cognitive going on, and
Okay.
again, the other domains could be affected.
All right. So all of a sudden, in the last 3 domains, we have this thing about forgetful and mental status. Okay. Would she be able to get out of the home in case of an emergency?
It's not asked.
Okay.
It's not
It says she
sponsored.
has difficulty exiting, but that's all it tells us. We don't know anything else. Can she recognize and respond to threats to personal safety?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay. So what do we know about unmet need here? So I'm gonna change that question a minute. So for unmet need, it says client's daughter works and granddaughter goes to school. What else? What do you not know about that?
Well, because we don't know what she can't do, we can't really gauge how often these things are going undone.
All right. We don't know when the daughter works. Okay. We don't know when the granddaughter goes to school, and if there's if the daughter works nights and the granddaughter goes to school during the day, then you've got somebody there both times. Okay. So there's a question: is she supposed to be monitored 24/7? Does someone need to be with her at all times? Yeah, we don't know. We don't know any of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if she does require monitoring, I would question if she's even eating, because, I mean, who's preparing her meals for her?
Right. And if I go back up to that one, I'm not making anybody dizzy. Let's see, preparing meals. That's the one. She has no way to shop for food. Daughter doesn't bring food home for her. So we again, yeah. How comfortable is the family with leaving her alone? Do they recognize these cognitive physical struggles? Okay. Yeah. So Stepping back from each of these components, what else do you want to know that you don't know?
Is APS involved?
Okay, is APS involved?
I would want to know how was she doing these things prior to me coming in contact with her.
All right.
I need to talk to maybe a daughter as well when she's there.
Okay.
I want to find out from her. I don't even know if the client is, maybe confused and memory issues. Do I need to look for someone already said it, flu of Alzheimer or dementia? We don't know.
Okay. There's a question here: is she getting treatment for her depression? And is that actually diagnosed by a doctor, or is that just what the family is saying? Yep.
Mm-hmm. I would even want to know, is the daughter involved at all in her care?
Okay. All right. So one of the things we're learning is that a good Don is going to minimize the number of questions that somebody looking at this is going to ask. Okay. There should be very few unanswered questions when I'm looking through this. And if I structure my essential components and I'm engaging in a conversational, person-centered thing, and using my observations, the chances of me missing a lot of that stuff is probably going to be fairly minimal. Okay. Again, if I go back to what can or can't the person do and why, um, who is able to help or not, and how often. Okay, then I'm going to end up with a pretty good result here. Okay. Any other observations overall, either in general around this pepper, or any of these individual domains? Do 2 to 3 components have to be impacted to score as an impairment? So let me go back here. I think I know what you're asking, Heather, but let me go back and do it. All right, so one of the column rules is if I score a 0 in impairment, I automatically have a 0 in unmet need. Okay, so for impairment, I'm only going to score that based on the essential components they cannot do. All right. Well, let me back up. So I'm scoring it 0s, I can do all of them. 3, I can't do any of them. 1, I can do most of them. And 2, I can't do most of them. Okay. So if I can do 4 of the 5, then I can do most of them. So I'm probably going to be impairment on a 1. Okay. If I can't do most of them, which is like, if I can't do, like, say, 3 or 4 of them, then I'm probably going to score it a 2. And if I can't do any of them, I'm going to score it on a 3. Okay. Now, and I'm going to document the reason I can't do the things that I cannot do. Okay. Now, what tends to blow folks' mind, and I think this is different than perhaps some folks have been trained in the past, is when I get to the unmet need for care. Okay? Just as if I have no impairment, I have no unmet need, if I can do an essential component, I have no unmet need for that essential component. So I'm going to score my unmet need based on the essential components for which there are impairments. Okay? So if, let's say for here, I can cut food into manageable pieces, I can get it to my mouth, I can chew, and I can get a hot beverage to my mouth, but I can't swallow. Okay, I can do most of those. All right, but the one I cannot do, which is the swallowing, what is my unmet need for care related to that essential component? And I'm going to score that based on the 0 to 3. If someone's available all the time to assist with that, then my unmet need is 0. If somebody is there most of the time, which minimizes the risk to my health and safety, then I would score that a 1. If there's not somebody around most of the time and swallowing is a high risk for me, then I would score it as a 2. And if nobody is ever around to help with that one, then I would score it a 3. Okay, so that original rule of I'm scoring the columns absolutely independently also breaks down to the essential components. Okay. All right. Any other, did that help? Yeah, okay, good. All right. All right. And let's see. Yeah, good exercise in what to do and what not to do. Sometimes seeing what's not helpful is the most helpful thing. Okay. All right. Any other questions or so? What kind of a care plan would you come up with for Ms. Pepper?
I mean, I definitely want to come up with some interventions to help her with the whole bathroom situation.
All right.
And then again, involving adult protective services. Also probably connecting her to food resources like maybe local food banks. Even coming up with another solution as far as how she would get her food, maybe trying online shopping, or maybe like having the groceries delivered to her.
All right. So let's look at bathing. Again, I don't know what to do with the scoring necessarily, but my comments say can't stand for long periods to get to the shower, bath near her room is not working, daughter keeps the other one locked, and can't move around in small spaces. We've also learned that she's got some problems with the wrist, and I think there was a disc that was, something was pinching on a nerve or something. I think we read that. So looking specifically at this domain, what kind of interventions would you would be helpful, do you think? And what else do you want to know?
I see a lot of people in the comments saying AT.
Okay. All right. So in order for that, so I need to know, again, this all goes back to my essential components and what can and can't they do and why. All right. She can't stand for long periods, then a shower chair and some grab bars might be helpful, particularly if she's a fall risk. Okay. There's a difference in not being able to stand for long periods and not being able to get in and out of the thing to begin with. Okay. So I need to look and see what that's about. The bath near her room isn't working, so I want to find out why that is. Okay. And why the other bathroom is locked. So I do want to look at the access. Yeah, why does the daughter have her door locked? Exactly. Um, and we could hypothesize a gazillion reasons for that. And so, my ability again to ask some of these questions to help me understand what's going on is going to lead me to some appropriate interventions. So, let's say I can figure out how to help her get in the shower and give her a shower chair, but it's not working. So, you know, the shower chair doesn't do me a whole lot of good because I don't have a place to put it. Okay. Um, she has a lot of back pain and can't move around in small spaces. So, what size is the shower? Okay. So, a lot of these questions. So, the I'm going to be snarky for just a minute. The traditional wisdom is, well, I'm going to send in somebody to do. I'm going to recommend her for personal care. Okay. And I don't know from this that personal care is going to do anything, frankly. Okay. So remember we talked about one of the primary functions of the DONR is to develop a care plan. Okay. And so, again, beating that dead horse of my essential components, the reason for the impairments, and an explanation of the unmet need is going to facilitate me coming up with a care plan that is really going to help Mrs. Pepper. Okay? So yeah, there were some other conversations about helping her get groceries and stuff. I don't. Well, assuming that I've solved the problem of the cognition and forgetfulness and the depression, that she's going to be able to cook. Okay, so I've got to work backwards into some of those things. So, your observation will have a whole lot of help with it because I'll be able to see, does she, is she unkept? Does she have on dirty clothes? Does she have an odor or any, stains on her skin? What does the kitchen look like? I'll be able to tell some of these things from my observation and engage in conversation based on that. Okay. Any other comments or discussion about Ms. Pepper?